What is going on, everybody? I'm Alex Hunter, this is HP Builds, and welcome back to the channel. Now, if you clicked on this video, then you are clearly looking for a Predator generator. Now, this one is the 4400 watt starting, 3500 running watt inverter generator that just came out in the past year or so. We've had this thing for quite some time. We've put some hours on it. It's already through its break-in period. And I tell you, it is an amazing machine. We obviously use it for the race trailer to heat it, to run refrigerators, to run microwaves, you name it. This thing is doing it for us when we're out at the track. So today, I'm going to kind of walk you guys through just how loud this thing is, what I like about it, things I really don't like about it. And then we're going to plug up some heaters and pull all the power we can get out of this thing and show you guys just how loud this thing is. Because I tell you what, it's not that loud. Coming from a guy that had the 3500 watt inverter on the last trailer, not that big of a difference. Really not worth the extra money, plus you get more power here. So let's get it to it. I'll set this thing on the ground and let's get started. In fact ours. All right, so before we turn this thing on, if you didn't notice on the truck, this generator already has a wheel kit. Now this is not the one they sell at Harbor Freight. This one is homemade. It is built out of a shaft going all the way across, shooting through the bracketry on the framework. It does have threads on the end for a nut, and then cheap Harbor Freight wheels, and then some tubing with a jack bolt using the two holes that are already in the framework to give you some leveling capabilities on this. Pretty simple to make if you have machinery to do so. If you don't have machinery to do so, I would highly recommend buying what Harbor Freight sells, because this thing does come in a little heavy. So you definitely don't want to be, toting this thing out of the bed of the truck into the truck. You really want a wheel kit. That's one of the cons of this, I would say. The 3500, of course, has wheels. I really liked that because you could roll it right out of the race trailer. And when I bought this one, that was the first thing we had to do, because there is no way I'm lifting this thing and taking it wherever I'm taking it. So now, let's get this thing fired up and get after it, shall we? Now, as you probably already know, if you've made it this far looking for this type of generator, you know this does not come with a starter. This is actually a pull start engine, which is fine if you keep it maintained. The 3500 watt obviously is an electric start. Very convenient if you are not the one actually starting it and doing the whole sequence. Of course, you do want to keep your eco throttle off. You want to switch it to on. You then want to come back here, pull your choke, turn your fuel on. And to be honest with you, this thing isn't that hard to start. I mean, it comes on first crank. Now, as you can see, kind of bogging down right now. Watch this. Now we're running as loud as this machine will ever run. If you're not pulling a whole lot of power, hit the eco button. And she's idled down. Now, I'm gonna walk away, and as I get further away, listen to how quiet that machine actually is. GoPros clearly take that noise and absorb them, but it's really not that loud. I have yet to talk anything above a normal volume. And it's running, we're in plain sight of it, and it's not that loud. Now, if you're like us, you're sleeping in a trailer that has this thing running. I ran a 50-foot cord from the trailer, so we're about yay far away, but then we put a truck between us. Now, I'm sure the wind is probably louder than that generator is. It's not loud at all. What do you think? Pretty good, huh? All right, so right now we are in eco mode. We're only about 6-7 feet away, and it's really not that loud. Now, to show you how much this thing ramps up when we turn any kind of electrical source to it that's over the threshold of eco mode, I'm gonna run 2 space heaters. In our race trailer, of course, we only have the front 16 feet as the actual living quarters. Well, all that requires is one of these things to run. And other than that, all our electrical is on a battery system. So then the only other power pulling from this is a small battery charger, also from Harbor Freight. So let's turn one of these things on, let's watch this thing ramp up, then we'll turn on a decibel reader, then we'll turn the other one on and get another decibel reading, shall we? As you can see, it idled up, but it's not that much louder. So let's throw a decibel meter out. Let's see what kind of decibel readings we're getting. All right, so we are still only 7-8 feet away from this thing, and let's see what kind of meter we're getting here. All right, I'd say it's safe to say 79 decibels. Now, again, we never stand that close to it. So let's go over here, kind of where we were earlier, and we'll see what we're dealing with. Now, of course, we do have a little wind, but we're seeing a solid 77. So substantially quieter. I will say, if you are camping and this thing is running over there and you've got a bonfire here, and everybody's just kind of sitting around hanging out, sure, there's noise off in the background, but it's really not all that loud. I highly recommend this generator if you can't tell so far. So now let's turn on the second heater. That way we're pulling somewhere around 2,500 watts, 3,000 watts. And I will show you guys what happens then, because spoiler alert, not a whole lot happens. Still sitting in the same spot. It idled up a little bit, not really idled up, but got more load on it. So of course it's gonna make a little bit more noise, but I'm telling you, it's not that loud for a generator. If you've ever been around generators, you know just how loud these things can actually be. Other competitors, if we're standing this close to it, I wouldn't be able to sit here and talk. So let's see what we're reading now. So we've got an extra decibel now that we're pulling so much power. Kind of expected that, right? But still, I'm still sitting here, I'm talking in a normal voice, and here we are. So now let's kill this thing. I'll go over a couple more features I really like about this compared to the Predator 3500, and then this video will be over. So let's kill this thing and get to it. Much better, right? All right, so some things I really like about this compared to the 3500 watt is one, the gas tank. So the 3500 has a lot smaller fuel capacity, and it is really a burden when you fill it up at, say, 9:30 at night, right? You're running space heaters, you're having a good night, you go to sleep, and by like 7 o'clock in the morning, you no longer have electricity because it ran out of fuel. So what that does is that makes you have to get up early, check it, make sure you're gonna be all right. Really kind of frustrating. This thing with such a large gas tank, it is a game changer. I run this thing from 7 o'clock at night, fill it up, I run all night long, I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and we still have gas. So definitely a game changer as far as fuel consumption goes. All right, the next thing I absolutely love is the carbon monoxide detectors that are on these things. I will say this has actually tripped out before because we've had it in the bed of the truck Now granted, it's got air, it's not a bed cover. It's been in the bed of the truck and is actually tripped out. So I love the fact that that works. If you're ever in a tight camping area, especially in the pits of a racetrack, if the carbon monoxide gets up too high, this thing will kill itself, which I love, because the last thing you want to do on a fun weekend is have carbon monoxide be, in your camper or in your trailer. That would be, it would suck, right? I mean, absolutely suck. So I really, really do enjoy the fact that this thing does have that on it. I don't think I will ever buy a generator without that on it. So if you're looking for something like that, definitely works. Definitely will kill the power, because it has happened to me before. Just by being in a bed of a truck with a tailgate down, still enough to get it. The other thing I really like about this generator is the power that it's able to supply. So as you saw, we were running 2 space heaters without a hiccup. When we were pulling a 24-foot bumper pull, we were only really needing 1 space heater. Now that we're on a 38-foot gooseneck, if we ever have anybody stay with us and we have to leave the back half of the trailer open, we now need 2 space heaters. This is able to do it with the 3,500 watts that it's available. Not so much different, I know. A lot of people are going to say not so much different, but anything is better than nothing, right? So definitely glad that we are able to run 2 space heaters if we need to, because heaven forbid I do another thing like I did at NMRA, where got up, turned the space heaters off, ran out of fuel, and it was 36 degrees out. So needless to say, it got cold quick. So never going to do that again. Glad this thing could, 1, hold the gas, 2, supply us with enough power to reheat that trailer pretty fast in case that ever happens. So definitely glad that I have a little bit more than the 3,500 inverter. All right, the last thing that I have to say that I actually like about this is that it is the open frame design. Now I know that's going to obviously yield us a little bit more decibels, which we were seeing, but what it does do, it allows everything to stay much cooler. So for instance, there has been many people that have took the 3,500 watt out into the desert. They've run it, they've put a, table over it to shade it, whatever the case may be, and it still overheats and will shut down and actually have issues as far as the engine wear goes. This one being the open frame design, it allows the exhaust to go out, it allows clean air to come in, and it allows air around the engine, which to me is a definite game changer. 1, it allows you to do less oil changes. 2, it allows it to run more efficient. 3, you're never going to have an issue as far as being out at an event where you're trying to have fun and fighting a generator just because how hot it is. So definitely glad this thing is an open frame, and I hope you guys feel the same. I will say this one is not cheap compared to other generators, but having the inverter technology to lower that decibels down is a game changer, and the amount of power you get is great for the money. The 3,500 watt true inverter that Predator sells, it's nice. I've had it, don't get me wrong, it's very nice, it's very expensive, but half the price, can't beat this. You really can't beat this at all. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys found this informative in some shape, form, or fashion, and let me know down in the comments if there's any other questions you guys have. I'll be happy to answer them. I'm sure I skipped over something someone is wanting to know. If you would, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We do a lot more fun stuff than just play with generators, I promise. Go check out our other videos. We'll see you guys in the next video.